Okay, we are here on our weekly Facebook Live. Today, Tamiko Heim is with us. Tamiko is our Active Transportation Commission Chair and also representing District 5. She is our appointee on that. Before we get going to Tamiko, I just want to do a very brief update on the council meeting last night, as I do every Wednesday. We did take up the Mayor Darrell Steinberg's version of a strong mayor proposal. By a 6-3 vote, the council voted to put it on the ballot. There's a number of pieces to the proposal, which you can look at on the mayor's website if you're interested. I'm sure there will be a very robust campaign on both sides of the issue between now and election day in November. But basically, it would change the governance form to a strong mayor, where the mayor becomes basically the CEO of the city. There are also a number of other pieces to it. Putting aside a minimum of $40 million for inclusive economic development every year. And of that amount, 25% or 10 million at least would go towards youth programming. It puts the Ethics Commission in the city charter. And it does a lot on racial justice as well, where we look at all items that we do and see how they fit in. So those are pieces to the puzzle. We'll be talking a lot more about it over the next weeks and months. And it'll be interesting. I think I voted for it. I think it's the right thing to do for the city. The process, I believe, was a little bit rushed, but we've been talking about this for years. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, Tamiko, thank you for being with us today. Really appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do as chair of the commission.
Well, let's see. I am Tamiko Heim, of course, as you stated. I am a Sacramento native. I grew up in Sacramento. For those who know, I grew up in Lincoln Village, outside off Broadway area. I went to all the schools in Sacramento that you could think of in that area. I went to A.M. Wynn, Abraham Lincoln, Albert Einstein. I'm a proud grad of I.M. Johnson, main campus, of course. And what I do in the commission, well, a little bit about how I got started in the commission. I do a lot of volunteering throughout the city. I was working with Black Child Legacy Campaign for a while. I am a part of the North City Farms Neighborhood Association. I do a lot of work with Madeline, which is one of my neighbors, with the Neighborhood Association. We don't have an official board, but we are a committee-driven, community-based association. And through that, we wanted to do something about our Sutterville area, which is right around the corner from us, and we wanted to get a crosswalk. And that's what started my interest in transportation, active transportation, and just getting access from my neighborhood, getting us access into a park that is near us. So as the chair, or just as an active transportation commissioner, in general, we talk about anything that has to do with physical movement and getting around Sacramento. So that would that be walking, biking, crosswalks, all that stuff. That is what we deal with. So different organizations or neighborhoods or people in the city bring us topics that regard their neighborhood, in regards to their neighborhoods, or projects they want to do and that have a component of the active transportation.
Great. And maybe talk a little bit more about the commission. How many members do you have? I know you're my appointee for district.
Yes. We have
how does it work? How often do you meet? Things like that.
Okay. So we meet once a month. We meet on Thursdays. Our next commission meeting is actually scheduled for August 20th. We take public comments, just like the city council. We take public comments. You could submit requests, submit questions to us, submit information to us through any of your local, your council members. We have about, oh gosh, I think there's, how many of us are there? There's quite a few of us. I think there's like.
But you have all of the council members. So
all the council members.
Members appointed by the mayor.
Yes.
who are at large, basically.
And at large, yes. So it's about 9 or 10 of us, I think.
Yeah, I think 11 altogether.
11.
And
Yeah.
and has it been pretty constant with the same membership for a while? I know you've been on for how many years now?
A year. It's I
Year.
think just about a year
Yeah.
coming up. So yes, it has been very constant. Since I've been on the board, a lot of the members were previous board members. Some of them came over from a previous board that dealt with the same issue.
Right. And maybe talk a little bit about the types of issues that you've done in the past year, like some specifics around issues.
Okay. So some of the issues that come to the commission are, one of the big ones that we're talking that are coming up is, for example, Evasion Broadway or Evasion Park. That went to, that went to the board in March. So what they do is they bring the plan to us, discuss what would make the plan work, meaning is this, how these walkways, how are these, sorry, got kind of nervous. My first time being live.
But I think, while you're looking at that, I mean,
Yeah.
it's important as the city's vision for active transportation, whether it's, as you said, walking, biking, scooters, rental bikes, whatever that looks like. How do we get people around? How does that work with the climate commission that we have, so that we really want to reduce our carbon footprint? So I think, while, you know, people may not think this is really important, this is critical to the future of this, how we move people from one place to another. So, and I don't know that you've had many controversial issues, but again, kind of working through these.
I don't really know about many controversial issues, but one of the biggest issues that we have as a commission have been looking at is equity in Sacramento as far as active transportation is concerned. The commission actually just passed our own equity statement in regards to the commission and how we want to move forward in looking at things that are brought to us. And another example of things that are brought to us are the scooters, like you said, how they are deployed out in the different areas in Sacramento. Is there access to our neighborhoods that wouldn't normally get access to that other than downtown? So like our underserved areas, are there scooters in some of our underserved areas, and how are these scooters dispatched? Where are they dispatched? Is there incentives, or is there like a discount for underserved children, or not children, adults, to use these programs that we have? So those are some of the issues, some of the things that are brought to the commission, along with plans like Franklin Boulevard, how we talk about reducing the travel on Franklin Boulevard. We have been looking at plans to reduce lanes, add more bike-friendly lanes, add more walk-friendly areas. Because if you look at Franklin Boulevard, some of the sections are very hard to get across. It's very hard for bikers to get down, because that is right up the street from me. So I see it a lot.
Right. So maybe what we could do, Tamiko, if you're okay, let's go back to equity questions, because
definitely,
certainly when you look at issues before the council, before the police commission, before the youth commission, I mean, equity is something that we're all dealing with now that could have been dealt with a long time ago, but certainly events of the last year have brought it forth in a big way. And the council's been dealing with it as well. So you talked a little bit about the scooters. Maybe if you could kind of flesh out a little bit more, like, you know, you might think at first glance, well, equity and transportation, what does that have to do with each other? You get in your car, you get on your scooter and go. But I know that in the deals that we made with the companies that are coming in scooters, they need to have a certain percentage in certain neighborhoods, things like that.
Yes.
So
definitely.
Talk a little bit, maybe if you can, about other areas that you're touching in equity, and how do youth come into that as well?
Yeah, some of the other areas are, for example, sidewalks. We're looking at how are sidewalks implemented, how are crosswalks looked at. I know there's a formula that they use about how many how many people are reporting these things, but we are having those conversations. Like, how are we capturing if this goes underreported? How are we looking at this? And so what I want to do is read our equity statement, if that's okay,
Yeah,
that
please.
we just released, and that is the City of Sacramento's Active Transportation Commission, ATC, acknowledges the challenges the city faces in providing equitable access to safe and adequate modes of active transportation as a result of prior historical sanctioned discriminatory policy. Equity in active transportation means that equity in transportation means that all people can travel safely and easily in Sacramento, regardless of their geographic location, race, socioeconomic or immigration status, personal identity, or mobility needs. The ATC is working to achieve equitable access for all of our residents by seeking out, incorporating feedback from community members, local groups, and stakeholders. We are striving to go beyond performative measures by utilizing and incorporating feedback into ATC decision-making process by keeping equity at the forefront of our goals and objectives. The ATC will continue to improve the quality of life and provide opportunity for better health to all the people of Sacramento.
That's great. So how will we know if we're successful?
So last week in our meeting, once we adopted the statement, myself and Vice Chair had requested that we move forward with this and look at how we make this measurable. We're looking at what a statement of equity looks like when they're doing some of these traffic analysis, like the Vision Zero or the school or Oak Park master plan or bike master plan, or even when we're looking at some of the schools that we're revamping for their access to get to school. So if I can go over a couple of projects that are coming up,
yeah,
and let people know what to look for on the city's website. We have Envision Broadway, which is a part of the complete street plan for Broadway between Franklin Boulevard and MLK. That was approved by City Council in March. That is up on City Council's website, or not City Council's website, that is up on the city's website. So if you want more information in regards to the complete streets Broadway, so you would just look up eVision Broadway. We have Vision Zero Top 5 Corridor Study. That is also on the website, and that will be looking at Broadway between MLK and Stockton Boulevard. We have Vision Zero School Safety Study. That is on the website as well. That would go over getting kids to school safely, actively. So that for us in District 5, that would be St. Hope Public School 7, Oak Ridge Elementary School, Father Keith B. Kinney, Bret Hart, Aspire Capital, and Sacramento Charter High School. So those schools will be affected in those areas when we are looking for Vision Zero school safety for our district. We also have the Franklin Boulevard Complete Streets Project. We received some grant funding from that, but of course we need more to complete that project. And we have some new pedestrian hybrid beacons going up. North City Farms would be very happy about that, because that on Sutterville and East Road, that is going up, or it is up. Broadway at 38th, Broadway at 36th and 4th, and 24th Street and 53rd Ave. So that's some of the things that are going on in District 5.
So maybe if we could talk about some of those things in a little bit more detail, because I think there's some parts to bring out. On the Broadway piece, when we talk about equity or inequity, we started with Broadway between the river and Highway 80.
Yes.
And so that's pretty normal. You're going to an area that's more affluent.
Yes.
And when I came into council, my question was, well, why are we, sequestering parts of the neighborhood, right? And urban planning certainly made a mistake when they put Highway 99 and split off Oak Park from the rest of the city.
Yes.
But we were pretty insistent that we continue to move.
Sorry, I don't know. You can probably hear my guy doing my yard.
I hope he does a good job.
He does. It's one of my neighbors.
We did get the city to extend it, and we really involved a lot of the community in that. 38th and Broadway is a really good example where it's where the Brickyard is, the art gallery, and just a horrible intersection.
Absolutely.
And so we did get some lights there. We had thrown up some rumble strips early on, which didn't really make that much of a difference, but we've been able to do it. And now if we can connect to Stockton Boulevard, then you have a throughway, which really brings together different communities. So I think that's important. The Franklin Boulevard.
And I was going to say, that was one of the first things that I noticed when I joined the ATC was our connectivity and getting through the different streets. And it was like, oh, we were focusing on one section, but now I can see as I've been on the board, on the commission, we're actually connecting the whole Broadway, which is actually really good.
And I think that's important for the commission and for the council when we think about these things, to think about them holistically, not in these little pieces.
Right.
On Franklin Boulevard, I mean, I think this is the model for complete streets and for neighborhood revitalization, and it's really come from members of the community.
Absolutely.
EBID has been great about doing their strategic plan. Our office has been able to help them out quite a bit. And through, I believe the first grant was $538,000 from SACOG, the Council of Governments, to do a complete streets plan. They keep moving forward on that. That can be a great hub. It was at one time the Monterey Trail, and it was a major street going through our city. So I think if we can step back and look at these things, then that's why I'm so excited really to have you on the commission to be able to advocate for District 5, but more importantly, I think to advocate for how we change, particularly these corridors. Were at one time vibrant and have fallen out of use in a lot of ways. To bring folks back into that, there's a lot we can do.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. There is so much interest in our neighborhood. We see a lot of traffic, and as this quarantine has happened, we see a lot of bike traffic. A lot of our bike stores nearby are sold out of bikes. So it's really important that we definitely look at that. Yeah,
I think if there's any silver lining to COVID, it has people gotten people to go out. I've never seen so many walkers, so many bikers.
Absolutely.
As we have now. So I think that's a great thing.
And our communication with the community has increased as well. We've gotten a lot more activity coming into the active transportation meetings. We've gotten a lot more questions, a lot more interest, because people are saying, oh, wait, I do have a stake in this.
That's great. And are there organizations, like if I wanted to get involved because I care about active transportation, maybe talk to me about some of the advocacy groups that are working some of these issues that I know.
I know one of them off the top of my head is like Walk Sacramento. There's a SACOG, like you said. There's like different organizations, and also your neighborhood association can get you connected with even me, or I'm sure a lot of these people call you firsthand. Sometimes call your office firsthand, because we want our neighborhoods to be live and thriving. Last week we got a lot of questions, I think in regards to slow streets. And that's conversations that we're going to have in next council meeting, or not next commission meeting. So if people are interested in that, we're going to move that to next commission meeting.
No, that's great. I'm looking at some of the comments that we have.
Oh, I don't see it.
Put up. Yeah. We have one, WTF, so I won't say that out. More equitable. I think what we're looking at is to make sure that communities that have been left behind are no longer left behind. And
exactly.
Right, and that takes a concerted effort and thoughtfulness about where you put your money. I know I serve also on the SACOG board, the Sacramento Area Council of Governments, which puts out transportation dollars, and we're looking at using an equity lens as well when we look at how money goes out to the different jurisdictions, and that's 28 jurisdictions.
I think also people don't realize that access to bike trails or access to better walking paths are an important asset for not just a community, but for people to get out and walk their neighborhoods. If you don't have lighting, if you don't have a nice walking path, it's very hard to get out in your community and be seen and be able to commune with your neighbors. So.
And I think, unfortunately, in District 5, we do have a few areas that don't even have sidewalks yet.
Yeah.
Along Stockton Boulevard, there's certainly some of that. When you go down to the very southern tip of the district in Zeeburg Park, that was an area that was taken in by the city at some point, and very few sidewalks there as well. So that's, as you said, Tamiko, it's not really safe for people to walk. I just want to note, if people do look at the comments section here, we, and I believe probably Allison Joe in our office has done this, we've got a lot of the email addresses or websites if you want more information about any of the things that Tamiko has talked about. So what hopefully is the next step for the city in all of this? Do you know, as you're looking forward, what should I as a council person and my colleagues on the council be thinking about as far as active transportation?
I think for myself and a couple of the commission members, we talked a lot about access, and we talked about accountability and how we move forward, I think, with anything. And for us, it's really, we want to make sure that people who want to be in the community, who want to ride their bikes, who want to walk around, feel safe and have access to do that. And so I think that's one of the most important things to us, is everyone should be able to walk around their community, ride around in their community, and feel safe doing that.
Well, and one thing we can talk about, the main, I think one of the largest projects that we've been involved in from District 5 is the Del Rio Trail, which is a bike trail that we've secured over $10 million for from SACOG and other sources, that will go basically from the zoo more or less along Freeport Boulevard, where the old tracks are, all the way down to Pocket Road. And that leads you right into the Delta and some of the bike trails that Councilmember Jennings has been working on so hard for a number of years. So we really want to make Sacramento, it's a great biking town now. We have huge amenities. I mean, the American River Trail is just a wonderful, wonderful bike trail. But I think we can do a lot better. And we're so built for biking because we are flat. So So
even though some of our little grades get me every now and then.
Cool. So, Tamiko, this is the question that I ask everyone as we come on. It's always my last question. But if you can imagine being on the council and you have 5 votes, so you have yourself and you have 4 other votes, and we know that there's 9 people on the council, including the mayor, and 5 votes gets you somewhere. And you had 1 or 2 issues that you really wanted to go after, what would you do?
I think mainly for me, just growing up in Sacramento and knowing as a youth, I had so many opportunities because we had so many after-school programs and so many different things that we were able to access when I was younger. I think it would have to do with something to have to do with youth programming. I know we had this, I think it was I can't think of the name of it, but it was the youth organization where kids were getting jobs through the city and doing different things. I can't remember the name of it, but that's one of the big things I would, anything that has to do with the youth, I would definitely be looking for. And because I'm on the Active Transportation Commission, I would like the youth to be able to explore our trails. I don't think a lot of kids know we have these trails. I, as a kid, was able to go on bike rides with my dad on some of these trails out in Folsom, through the Folsom area. But some of these kids don't know these trails exist. So I think having something around organizing kids and getting them out to not only have, an activity dealing with, getting paid or something, but also having an active role in Sacramento and moving around.
That'd be great. Maybe what we could do, Tamiko, for you as chair of the Active Transportation Commission, to go and speak with the Youth Commission and talk about what you're doing and get their recommendations as well. We did that as a council, and that's led to some of the programs that we're doing with our federal dollars around youth mental health, which they said was the most important issue. But certainly transportation, we will be doing a second year of free ride RT.
That's awesome.
We're going to continue that and hopefully bake that in as part of the budget. So it's just a regular thing we do. We don't have to fight for it every year. But I think a conversation between you as chair and maybe sitting down first with the chair of the Youth Commission and then going from there would be good. 1,000 Strong was, I think, the other thing that you were looking for, which is one of
Yes, that's what it was.
That we have. Yes. So thank you. All right. Well, any last words for us? What should we get out and ride? What's
Yeah, absolutely. Get out and ride. You have I'm sure in Sacramento City, you have a bike shop near you. Go visit your bike shop. Go purchase a bike. Well, if there's any left. Get out, ride, get out and walk. See the city.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. I want to thank Jennifer Donlin Wyatt, who put up Sacramento.org. She is one of your main staff people. And
absolutely. And helped me prepare today.
That's great. Thank you, Jennifer. If you're still watching this, we love you and think you're doing a great job for this, making us more bike friendly. And I see Joe Flores on here too. Joe is our representative on the Parks and Recreation Commission. He was chair of that and very, very active in Southland Park Neighborhood Organization and one of the key people advocating for the Del Rio Trail. So thank you, Joe. Appreciate all you do for the city as well. None of these are paid positions. So make sure people know you're volunteering a lot of time to create a better city. So thanks so much.
I'm Sacramento through and through. All right.
There you go. Take care. Have a good day. Stay healthy.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.